Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Eliali in this incarnation, and I am here today to talk about the karma nodes. I'm going to do this because at the moment I am recording this video, I'm doing this video, we have these mathematical points. Let's remember that they are not celestial bodies. They are mathematical points that are activated in eclipses seasons, but also they are activated during the year because of the movements of the astros. So right now we are having the North Node in Aries and the South Node in Libra. I'm going to explain what they mean. But in this second eclipse season of the 2024, the first eclipse, the next one, I mean, because at the moment I am doing this, we are going through the new moon in Virgo. This first one eclipse is going to be the preview of this energy that we are going to experiment in 2025, because this is going to be a lunar eclipse in Pisces. So the second one corresponds to the karma nodes Aries Libra, because it's going to be an eclipse in Libra of South Node. So the position of the karma nodes is going to change in January of 2025, January 12th, until July 26th of 2026. So during that period of time, we are going to experiment this energy that I'm going to talk about. And when we are referring to the North Node, it is this mathematical point, this evolutionary point where we need to integrate new energy, where we need to integrate new experiences, that could be very uncomfortable. And I am mentioning this because many times the North Node is associated to a positive point and the South Node as a negative one, because the South Node, it is this place where we need to identify old patterns that are not working anymore, they are not helping us to evolve, and to clean them, to do a cleansing, a purge, to drain that energy of low vibration, let's put it in these words, and to elevate it and moving to the North Node. So contacts with the North Node could be very, very uncomfortable, because South Node is something that is very, very familiar, but that is not working anymore, that we need to change. And this is important because it is important for you to look the house or houses that are embracing Pisces in your natal chart, in the house or houses that are in the energy of Virgo. We all have all the signs in our natal chart, because there is, in your Pisces area is where you are going to receive this call to integrate this new energy, new experiences, to evolve. And where you have Virgo, it is this place where you have to purify. So this axis, Pisces Virgo, it is very associated with the rational and the spiritual. That many times people could put this in an opposite side, but actually the rational includes the spiritual, because everything is an extension of spirit. Everything. We are here in this material reality, but everything is an extension of spirit. So let's start talking about Virgo and Pisces in a general way, and then we are going to talk about the implications that this could have in the collective level, and also, and the most important thing, in the individual level, because there is what we can do. There is the decisions that we can make to integrate this new energy. So Virgo is an earth mutable sign. Its ruler is Mercury, and it is a sign of discernment, logic, order, organization. It is about separating the wheat from the chaff, perceiving the details, all the tiny things that are not working, to correct them in every process. This is linked with our creations, with things that we are doing, and with our whole path, with our life, with our relationships, with everything. It is a very necessary energy, in fact. And it is also a sign associated to our health, both physical, mental, our routines, the habits, domestic animals, pets, and also the service, the labor that we do daily. This is very important, because we are all here to discover which is our service. in the soul level. So Pisces is this energy that represents the consciousness of universal unity. Is this energy that we don't see but we feel. It is the unconditional love in this plane, that in this plane we need to understand that it is not absence of healthy boundaries. It is the comprehension that all the souls are a channel. It is not, that there are souls that can channel and there are souls that cannot. We all can. So the thing is that we have to discover which is the light or the information that we came here to channel. And this specific function, it is something that corresponds to Virgo. So we see how important it is that to understand that we are not eliminating the energy, we are not annulling it. It is about raising it, elevating it. So this energy of Pisces, it is also the consciousness that everything is unity and that unity operates in our planet. Wait a minute. It is about, wait a minute, please. Okay. So it is about understanding that the unity also operates in our planet, and that every act of every individual, as the ones that are participating also from the chat, are moving the collective aspects. I mean, everything that we see, everything that we like and we don't like, it is a product of what we are doing in a collectively way. The sand wouldn't be sand without the little grains that are composing it. And at the same time, the sea, the universal ocean, inhabits in all of us. And it is for that reason that the path of self-knowledge, it is what reveals in the end aspects of the cosmos. So it is a very profound energy, and of course we are going to integrate this in terms of the consciousness of the collective and in terms of the consciousness that we have at the present moment. Pisces is also the symbolic. The symbols, the sacred symbols, they hide light, information. Even the ancient texts, they are all not meant to be read in a literal way. But many religions don't understand this yet. Pisces is also the creative, the arts that are associated a lot with this energy, because everything that has not words or form even can be expressed through a melody, through music, through poetry. Telepathy, extrasensorial, the oniric, or the spiritual, the invisible, or all of these things are linked with Pisces. So in the collective level, talking about the energy of Virgo, we are invited to transcend, to think that everything that is not adjusting to our rational parameters that we have like established are not real. For example, science is something that is going to be reevaluated a lot. This is already happening, but it is going to be visibilized. So the fact that the actual science didn't demonstrate that many things that are occurring in the etheric levels, let's say, the fact that the science didn't demonstrate that doesn't mean that that thing don't exist. I mean, maybe there are no tools, or in many cases there are no disposition to approach this kind of investigations or even expose them. So health is also going to be reevaluated, and well, we are seeing this from the 2020. Here we could see polarizations, because there are many people that think that only the official medicine is the only one that can take charge of the symptom. And it is pretty crazy that we think that the system outside, or even other person, knows much more than we know in what is happening in terms of what is happening in our body and inwards. So illness as everything that we go through. It is something that we transit in this plane because it has a purpose. Everything has a purpose. In many cases, it is a manifestation of incoherences that we are sustaining, imbalances in the soul level. And in other cases, there are soul contracts. So it is going to be very important that healing goes beyond the habits and the food. It is important because of course that has an influence, but many of these things are occurring and we could heal them attending our energy and what is happening inside. And I'm going to leave in the description, well, there are two channels that are in Spanish. I don't know if I'm going to leave them anyways, but there is a TED talk of a man called Anthony Holland that is talking about the cure of cancer through frequencies. So I'm going to leave that in the description. And many people already know that for the groups of power, they don't have the interest in that everyone knows these questions, or that they get deeper and in these kind of things, because this way we can perpetuate the dependence both to the system and the medicine of the pharmaceutics. So in the same way, the system, the educational system forms people to perpetuate this kind of things, these parameters. So something that is already happening, it is that we are going to reevaluate the habits that were considered as healthy, but actually they are not that good. And we are seeing this in many products of hygiene and personal care that are actually having toxic components. So one thing that is important to clarify in here, it is not that we have to get rid of discernment. It is not that we have to get rid of logic, because many people right now, it is also in this space in which they are mistrusting everything, and that leads also to confusion and to push them away to their from their own truth. In this way, it is easier to implant confusion and fear in the collective. I'm going to talk about that for the video of the next eclipse. So when we talk about Pisces in the collective way, this is about surrendering to what we intuitively feel, that not always fit in the logics of the mind, but it is that we need to amplify our logics. For example, people that have experimented this near-death experiences, I see a lot of this these days. The new ways of healing in an emotional and energetical level. Well, these kind of things, they have a logic. It is not that they don't have a logic, but we need to amplify them. If nobody would think outside of the box, then we wouldn't discover anything. So again, this doesn't mean that we have to get rid of discernment or logic, but discernment has to be aligned with intuition, and intuition is Pisces energy. Because if we try to fit everything in what we already know, that is something very limiting, very egoic, and that is going to prevent us from revealing light. I mean, an example could be, I know this about medicine, and that's why things can work only this way, because this is what I know. It's a very, very limiting perspective. And if we can open ourselves, we can reveal this knowledge that it is not, and when I am talking about knowledge, I'm not only referring to books. I love books, but it is not only about that. It is an experience, a sensitive experience that we go through. For example, for the people that received Reiki, once they could feel the heat or the energy in different parts of the body. For a person that had a natural regression to other life, they could feel the sensations, the emotions of those experiences. So it is not an invent. It is something that we perceive, that we feel. But because of society has been molded in certain way, many times this is put as something that is not real. You are imagining it. So Probably the most challenging thing that we need to integrate with these energies is the fact that everything is unity, and taking that to practice with the challenges that this implies. Because without this comprehension, we cannot transcend the distortions of the world. I mean, wars, violence, these kind of things. And this practice starts with our individual lives. When someone is saying something, is attacking, or when a person is not acting in alignment with their soul, or when we are facing an obstacle or something that we don't like, we have to come back to this comprehension that everything is unity, and that has a purpose, and we need to discover what is that purpose. Many times it's just simply not giving entity. And people many times don't understand that what they are doing to others, they are doing that to themselves. So it is about this practice. It is very profound if we put it in a daily thing. So let's go with the individual things that we need to pay attention. This is the most important from my perspective, because, well, one of the patterns of in shadow, let's say, of the energy of Virgo could be perfectionism. Is this constant seeking of what is wrong in ourselves or in others, but not in a constructive way, but in a mechanism of self-sabotage or projection of the things that I didn't integrate in myself. Because when someone is criticizing something with anger, with harshness, it is because they are not integrating that in themselves. Then other pattern linked with Virgo could be wanting to correct or improve something, but from a place of lack of self-esteem. I mean, finding constantly the imperfection, when in reality, allowing the revelation of our essence, which is Pisces, is what allows us to be our best version. And this requires to make mistakes. So other pattern could be linked with the logics and the ideas that I am sustaining, that they are working as a way of closing myself in my own identity, and they are not allowing me to open myself to new ways of the reality. And examples of these are things that I mentioned already, other lives, telepathy, experience, energetical experiences. Many people don't understand them, they ignore them, so they say they are not real. But that is a limitation of the identity, actually, of the mind. So, other pattern, and this is very, very present in our society. This is going to be very challenging, I think. Disregard, classify, judge with harshness, not as a way of growth, as a way of spiritual growth, but a mechanism of separation of the ego, in a superiority or inferiority illusion, with lack of empathy many times with other people or with oneself, putting people in situations in parameters that are established of the mind. For example, when someone is saying a word, oh, that person is practicing New Age spirituality. One person doesn't know about something, oh, that person is not awakened. These kind of things that we see in the spiritual world and in many other spaces. So, it is important to take that in account. Then other thing that is linked with Virgo, it is this over analyzing things that in the end lead to the paralysis when in face of decisions, in the face of decisions. Also, it is this pretension, this illusory pretension of the ego for everything to be perfect, that actually is hiding the fear to the mistake. Because for society, many times mistakes are making us less valuable. Of course, that's not true, because everyone makes mistakes. Everyone that is human and not human, I think that could happen too. So in the Old Testament, there is a phrase that says that the just falls 7 times and 7 times rises, because it is not the absence of the mistake or imperfection what take us to the purification. It is the capacity to recognize them, to repair, to illuminate them, to make us conscious about them. And I heard to this Kabbalist that I recommended many times in the channel, Mario Saban. He has right now social media in English, so you can look up for it. And he reflected about this phrase, saying that there could be a lot of people that they think that they did everything correct, but they could fall and they could not know how to rise, because it is this divine will of inner elevation what connects us with spirit. So in terms of the North Node in Pisces, this all that I mentioned, it is linked with South Node in Virgo. So in terms of Pisces North Node, it is this surrendering to the divinity. It is surrendering to this higher cause, understanding that many times what the ego wants, it is not aligned with the path of spiritual growth, and that we need to renounce many times to all the forms of perception of reality, which could cause in us a great questioning of beliefs and perceptions, and surrendering to the unknown, to life taking me for the path that my soul needs, and not many times where the ego insists in going. So through these aspects, this could take us to identify the real goals of the soul, the real dreams that are linked with our soul, and having faith that they are possible because we are co-creating them. And these dreams, they are linked with love and with a contribution that we are not doing only with ourselves, but also with the others, with the collective. And everyone is here to serve and contribute in a different way. So the energy has an enormous influence in everything that we are co-creating, and always has. But I think that this position of the karma nodes could be synchronic with the awakening of many people in a massive way. This is already happening, but Pisces is the masses, is the collective, is the everything, actually. So finally, it is about understanding that everything has an influence, as I said, beyond our habits and the food habits or our life quality, that of course it is very important, but also the music that we listen to, the inner dialogue, the people that we are surrounded of. Everything has an impact on our frequency, vibration, emotions, and finally our physical body too. So, well, I'm going to close the video here. Thank you, everyone. See you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.